Today, I want to show you how to sell your online course with an automated webinar funnel. I'm going to show you all the pages of my personal automated webinar funnel, and I'm going to talk about two different methods to kind of set this up and the tech behind it. Hey, what's up, digital dads? Welcome back to the channel. If you're brand new here, I want to welcome you. My name's Kerry. I'm the founder of Digital Dads, and I created this channel to help dads escape the 9-to-5 grind and create an online income through a digital course business. Hey, before we jump into the training today, I just want to ask you a huge favor. We're a brand new channel, and we're trying to get this information out to more dads that want to create income through their knowledge. And so if you could just take 1 second, hit the subscribe button, and also like this video, it just does a huge help to us in our channel as we are starting to grow. The first thing I want to cover today is if an automated webinar funnel is right for you, or who this is right for. So when I started my first online course, which was about 3 years ago, it's called Shirt School. And if you've watched any other videos on here on the channel, you kind of know what that's about. It's about t-shirts and apparel. When I first started that online course, I wanted to instantly go automated. I wanted everything to kind of run in the background. I didn't want to do a live webinar or a live launch where you kind of have to get up in front of everybody on Zoom or you have to present live. I wanted to do it all automated. I wanted the cash flow just to come in automatically. And that's kind of the dream for, I think, a lot of online business owners, is just to be able to automate everything. And I want to let you know right up front that that is a real possibility. That is absolutely possible. You can absolutely do it. But when you're just starting out, I would recommend that you go with a live launch or a live webinar, a live challenge, because you'll learn the content, you'll be able to craft the content and continue to improve the content as you get feedback and you see how people are reacting, you see what the buy rates are like. And then once you've got that webinar or challenge or training, whatever kind of method you're doing, once you've got that dialed in and it's really converting and it's really speaking to people, then I think that's when it's time to move to an automated webinar or some kind of automated sales funnel where you can sell your course. I tried to go automated early on. My webinar was really bad and it just didn't really work. And the key piece of this is not really the funnel. The key piece of this is that you have a high converting, impactful webinar. So I want you to keep that in mind as we're going through this. But what I'm doing in this video is I'm just going to break down each page. I'm going to show you kind of what's on each page. And I do think that an automated webinar funnel is one of the simplest funnels you can actually build when it comes to like the layout and what needs to be on there. It's an extremely simple funnel, and there is a way to set it up where it doesn't require a huge tech headache. So let's jump into my funnel. So this is page 1 of my automated webinar funnel. So it's a very simple page. And in fact, I would recommend that you keep this registration page very, very simple. You don't need a ton of info on it. You just need some curiosity to really get people to opt in. The purpose of this page is to get people to give you their email and just register to watch the free webinar or the free class. You can see here, we've got a really strong title of the class, got an image here. We've got a button to allow them to register. And then we've just got a little bit of social proof, a little bit of information about what's going to be in the class. You can put testimonials on this page. You can put, some more stuff, but I think the best converting pages, especially for webinars or lead magnets, are short, and they just spark some curiosity as to what you're going to learn or what's going to be in this class or what you're going to get after you click that button and register. So what you want to do on this first page, a simple layout like this with a button, and when the button is clicked, it's going to pop up and allow them to enter their email to register for the free webinar. Hey, if you're a dad and you want to learn my system for taking your knowledge and building a profitable online course business, just like I've done over the last 3 years, I want to invite you to download my free ebook and audiobook called How to Become a Digital Dad. All you have to do is go over to kerryegeler.com/book, put in your name and email, and you can download the ebook version, but also the audiobook I'm including for free. So go pick up a copy. Now, I'm going to show you the simple way to set up an automated webinar funnel. And honestly, it's the way that a lot of people are not doing it. It's not a very utilized way, but it's way easier than I think the traditional way of setting up. But real quick, let's cover that traditional way. Traditionally, people want to use an automated webinar software. I think the most common one is called EverWebinar. And I actually use this right now on the page that you see. So over on my automated webinar page, if we click that button, it's going to pop up this checking availability, and it's going to have me register for a specific time. The reason for this software is because it tries to emulate a live webinar. It tries to make it feel more like a live webinar. And I think there can be some advantages to that. When it feels like a live event, you're going to get higher engagement, higher participation, and that can be a good thing. But on the flip side, it doesn't allow your potential customer or your webinar registrant to watch the class right away. And so there are drawbacks and advantages. I'm currently using this, and I've been testing it for about the last 3 months, and I've had pretty good results. But I probably wouldn't recommend going with something like EverWebinar if this is your first time setting up an automated webinar funnel. The reason being is because I have found the tech side to be extremely difficult with a product like this. There is a lot of things you don't think about when it comes to triggering your email sequences and the timing of everything. People are picking different classes, and so you need your back end follow-up to trigger at different times. And I just find it very, very confusing. I had to hire someone to actually set up EverWebinar for me and get it implemented into my funnel. And so for the first really 3 years of selling my online course, I was not using a software like this. I didn't need this kind of software, and I had really great results. Probably this one page here probably accounted for somewhere, this one webinar funnel probably accounted for somewhere around $500,000 in sales just from this webinar funnel. And that's automated revenue that just I brought in while not having to do anything. People just coming to this page, opting in and watching the webinar. So I just wanted to cover that really quickly, that if you're just starting out, I would not recommend going with something like EverWebinar because it's extremely difficult to set up. And I think you'll end up with more headaches. Go this route I'm about to show you, which doesn't require additional software like that. It really just requires a funnel software or a landing page software. I'm using Kajabi, which I love. And this page you see here is built on Kajabi. So let's keep moving through this funnel. Again, I'm going to show you the simple way. So you just want a pop-up when they click this button that's going to pop up and say, register for the class, enter your email. Okay, now, what happens after that is as soon as they register for that class, it's going to take them over to this watch room. And what I have here is they have the class embedded on just a standard landing page. This is just a pre-recorded video, and they can simply watch this class. Hey, my name's Kerry. Now, one of the tips here is that I have this embedded using I believe Wistia is what's built into Kajabi, but that allows me to remove the play bar, remove some of the options down here, so you can't really skip through the class. And I found that that's a good tip to kind of increase, make sure people are watching the important parts, right? Because they can't kind of skip through. So that's how I have this set up here. But you can see how simple this page is. It's literally just the video on a web page. I made this into a GIF here that just, kind of tells them the training is in progress. Don't close or it'll end. So this is a very, very simple page. Next, the webinar registrant is going to kind of watch through this class. And whenever I go to my pitch inside of this class, whenever I start pitching my course, I have a button that pops up underneath the webinar down here that says, hey, register for Shirt School, buy Shirt School, join Shirt School, right down here where they can click that button. Once they click that button, if they want to go ahead and join our program, it's going to take them over to a very, very simple checkout page. Now, this isn't the exact checkout page. This is actually this is a checkout page I have inside of my lower ticket course to kind of upgrade them to Shirt School. But this is basically what the page looks like. And you might be thinking, that's an ugly page. It's super simple. There's hardly anything on it. I've tested both a long form sales page and this short sales page, which goes directly to the sale. And I found that this one just works a lot better. So the first couple years, I was using a very long page with lots of sales copy on it and testimonials and different things. But a coach of mine told me, as they were kind of reviewing it, they were like, hey, you're making people watch this, hour long or hour and 15-minute long webinar, and then you're taking them over to a long form sales page. Like, they don't need all that information. They just got all that information in the webinar. They just want to buy. And so I switched my checkout page over to this very, very short, simple checkout page. This is it. Put in your info, buy. It has a very brief description of what's included, all the bonuses. They want to view return policy, all that kind of stuff. It's all down here. But I switched it to this and my conversion has gone up. So it just goes, oftentimes we think we need some of these things, but keeping it simple has always proved to have better results for me, keeping everything as simple as possible. So this is what I would recommend, is just a very short checkout page. Again, because people are spending a lot of time with you watching your webinar, and they don't need additional sales copy. They don't need additional, videos, sales letters, and different things like that. Just take them over to the checkout page and let them buy. Now, I also want to cover the follow-up email sequence on the back end. I just want to talk about that a little bit, because most people, the reality is they're not going to buy on your webinar. They're not going to watch the webinar and just buy right there. Now, if you have a really, really good, strong webinar, you're going to get some sales from that webinar right on the spot. But most of the sales are going to come in the follow-up email sequence that happens after they watch the webinar. Now, me personally, I go with a 5-day cart close sequence, which means for 5 days after they watch my webinar, I'm going to send them emails each day and try to get them to come over to the checkout page, which I just showed you, and buy the course, join the course, right? So I have the cart open for 5 days and I close the offer down after 5 days. Another question you might be asking is, Kerry, how do you actually close the cart if it's automated? How do you even close that offer? Are you just faking the deadline? Is this fake? And I use a software called Deadline Funnel. Deadline Funnel allows you to have a real deadline on your offers, and we can do this with the webinar. And what this does is it creates a unique deadline for each person that opts into your webinar. So as soon as they press the opt-in button on the first page, they click that pop-up, they click register for the class. As soon as they click that, it's Deadline Funnel is going to set a time. It will communicate with your email marketing software, and it will trigger a deadline. And you can set that deadline to be 5 days out. And after 5 days, everyone will have, anybody that opts in, that watches your webinar, will have that unique deadline, and the offer will actually close. It's a real deadline. And so for me, what happens is, if you come to my Shirt School page, you watch the webinar, you're going to have 5 days to join Shirt School. If you do not join within those 5 days, that offer is going to close down, and you'll have to wait until I decide there is a new opportunity to buy the course. The cart will actually close, and this creates that urgency for people to buy now, to get in now, and this will help you drastically increase sales by having a deadline. And I firmly believe you need to have deadlines, you need to have urgency, have scarcity in your offers to really have big results. So as you can see, this funnel is super simple. It's very simple. It's really just a few pages and an email sequence. And you can make this happen with pretty, limited resources or very simple software. You don't need anything super complex. Just to recap, the first page is going to be that opt-in page. You want people to register to watch your free class. The second page is simply going to be your webinar embedded onto a page with a button that pops up and says, join the course, right? The last page of the funnel is going to be a simple checkout page that just lists what is included with the package and gives them an opportunity to buy. And the last piece is just emailing them each day after they register for the webinar and letting them know that the offer is closing, showing them some testimonials, telling them why your course can help them and how it can help them, and just giving them that additional 5 days of opportunity to join your course and giving them that deadline to create some urgency. So that's a really simple funnel. And again, over the last 3 years, this simple funnel has probably accounted for somewhere around, $500,000 in sales for myself. This is the second biggest revenue source for my course outside of my live 5-day challenges that I do. And still to this day, I live launch my course, but it's pretty cool to have an automated funnel that can bring in revenue all the time, right? So this is constantly bringing me in sales, each and every month. And it's a really awesome tool to have. Thank you so much for watching today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps us out, and I'll see you soon.